Hello everyone, it's Ron. Let's see how I did on my to-do list. So I wanted to make 5 levels, introduce a cold mechanic, and I wanted to do all this with a difficulty curve and have one mechanic at a time. I was unable to make 5 levels, I only made 4, but the rest of it went pretty smoothly. I'm pretty comfortable with how everything went. So yeah, let's just get into the cold mechanic, and while we're at it, I've also introduced a full mechanic. So what you can see here is me just quickly climbing up, and then if I fall down, hey, he puts his hands in the air and he does a little thing with his mouth where he goes, oh no, I'm falling, oh no, I'm falling. And then I've got areas of cold, and then slowly the coldness builds up as it goes throughout him. If you leave the cold area, it no longer climbs up. And if you go back in, it climbs back up again. And when you get too cold, you can no longer move as quickly as you could before, but you can still jog and you can still warm yourself up. And that's the cold and full mechanics. So let's just dive right into the levels. So the first level is just a really simple level where the player just has to get used to jumping and get used to the momentum and just get used to the basic gravity mechanics. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just jumping all around and maybe also figuring out that fires are checkpoints if they fall off somewhere. Level 2 is where the pickaxe is introduced. So it sees the player going into a cave and trying to find a pickaxe. Again, it's hopefully going to get used to the idea that the fires are checkpoints, and just jump around until finally you reach an obstacle where you can't jump over it anymore. So you see this side is only scalable via a pickaxe. You can't actually jump over it from the other side. So now you can't jump over it, so you have to use the pickaxe in order to get over it. So jump, pickaxe, and now you can climb over it. Et voila, you now have the next mechanic. Level 3 is just a really simple extension of what Level 2 was about. It's teaching the player how to use the pickaxe in more interesting circumstances, particularly the wall jumps. So I want the player to get used to the idea of wall jumping and using the pickaxes, and also saving themselves from when they might fall off, and using the pickaxes as a kind of way of preventing a fall from going wrong, and jumping over certain obstacles and getting used to the fact that wall jumping is faster than climbing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just an extension of the pickaxe mechanic, getting the player to think about it in unique and different ways from the previous level, and bounding off the walls side to side like here, like you see in Mario, which kind of inspired the idea of doing a wall jump. Level 4 is where the cold climb finally starts to live up to its reputation. It's what introduces the cold mechanic. And when you're cold, you can't jump, your movement is greatly reduced, and you can't use your pickaxe. So hopefully this is the level where the player learns that they need to jog to stay warm, and also where they learn that fires will keep them nice and warm as well. So fires feel like an extra layer of safety, not just your checkpoint, but also they prevent you from getting cold. And again, I would like to keep the previous mechanics I've taught the player. So I'd like them to wall jump, as you just saw. I would like them to still be able to jump and to pickaxe and to do all that kind of stuff. But now there's a limitation to how much they can use the pickaxe, because if they're cold, they fall down. And if they don't have, so here, like you can just see it there, if you're too cold, you can no longer keep hold, you can no longer climb, and you fall down. So the cold mechanic is the true limitation of what the player will be able to do in the levels. And this is where, like, the rest of the levels, I hope, will take some inspiration from, and they'll have a cold bit in all of them. So there won't be coldness in every level, at least not throughout the entire levels, but there will be like cold bits. So here is like another little cave bit, part of level 4, where again it's trying to teach the player that there's a limitation to how much they can use the climb mechanic. So for next week, I'd like to do 3 or 4 more levels. I would like to maybe do the next cutscene. I would like more obstacles like falling spikes, rolling rocks, and someone in the comments mentioned like falling ice bridges, like falling platforms, which I think is a really good idea. And if there's time, I think I'll implement them. Well, that's it for this week. As always, thank you for watching.